And away we go. Live from the Cincy Light Studios. It is the Bearcat Breakdown, brought to you by the Job Center right here on BearcatJournal.com. Presented by me and our guy, former general manager for the Cincinnati Bearcats, Chris LePore. Chris, how's it going, buddy?
We're back, baby. It's Crosstown Shootout week. Let's go.
It's you didn't think we were going to go through Shootout week and not get a Bearcat breakdown in. It's
of course.
We're going to take a look back and look at some of the things that happened against Villanova that ultimately, unfortunately, led to Villanova getting that victory. Some things where Cincinnati had success. We'll maybe get into a little bit of how we think Xavier might, based on what we saw against Nova, what Xavier might try to implement. And then we'll get into a little scouting report on Xavier. Zach Freemantle, of course, who is going to be a problem. And then we'll see where we end up from there. So, Chris, class is in session. Ring the bell. Fire up the tape. Let's get to it.
Ring the bell. Let's go.
Ding, ding. Right. Class is in session.
You've been working on that ding, ding, haven't you? All right. Let's get right to it here. All right. A couple go-to sets that we saw from the Villanova game. And some of this we saw in the first breakdown. But this is something that they've gone to when they need a basket. Watch the crossing of paths on the baseline here. Both bigs start high, okay? So Jizzle has the ball. The motion is really going to start when he changes direction, okay? He's going to take a couple hard... it's kind of like a disguise. It's a horn set in disguise. It's definitely similar to the horns formation, but not your traditional horns play coming out of that formation.
Okay.
So they're setting up in, kind of that horns look. But really what they're looking for is a cheap basket and something at the rim. When you need a bucket, you need to get the offense going. We're 4 minutes in the game here at 4 points. We need a quick basket. This is what they're calling. So when Jizzle puts his head down and decides to take a couple hard dribbles towards the right side, we're going to see this crossing motion on the baseline. Okay. And we'll start there. All right. So that crossing motion on the baseline, Hickman's job is to create a catch here in the corner. As that's happening, Seamoss's job is to set a great screen here on Aziz's man, and Aziz should be open under the basket for hopefully a quick catch and dunk, which he can do very quickly. All right, so we get the ball where it needs to go. Seamoss sets the screen, kind of screens his own man, right, which is crafty in that case. His man is kind of what we call top blocking, to where he's literally on top of him blocking the angle. So he screens his own man into Aziz's man. And it looks like we kind of have him dead, but great ball pressure can always eliminate a passing lane. So Villanova takes us out of that ability to get a quick catch and score. The second option is to dribble the ball up and then bring Seamoss back to the ball, maybe for a three if he has daylight. If not, we're right into motion, okay? The standard for motion offense is either Jizzle's going to move it and we're going to see a ball screen, or we're going to see one of the forwards come out, set a ball screen, and we should be playing. All right, so we see the ball screen there. Villanova was in switch for ball screen coverage primarily. And towards the end of the shot clock, a late ball screen, their design was, let's make them take a tough shot, go one-on-one ISO after switching the ball screen. And more times than not, I think we're going to like the result. So that was kind of their thought process. In guard, we either got to move it or we got to attack. Jizzle likes the mismatch. He attacks. And again, this is the shot right here that they said, more times than not, I like our chances to beat them tonight if this is the one that they're shooting over and over again. He makes this one tough shot, but that was kind of what Villanova was holding their hat on there. All right, again, same set here, okay? Bigs are starting high. Jizzle brings it up the left side, kind of makes eye contact with Connor and kind of gives him that go. All right. So it tells him to go. Hard dribble to the right. Again, this time it's a wrinkle out of this action. Okay. So we set it up earlier with the crosses into the back screen. This time it's a fake. All right. We're not actually throwing it to Connor, hoping he could sell that. We probably coach that in film a little bit. Still got to sell it like you're getting this pass, right? So what we're doing now, CMOS, instead of setting the screen here, he's faking to set the screen, and Dylan Mitchell is going to try to set a pin down for CMOS to get a 3. All right, so a little bit of a fugazi. You see CMOS's man is thinking, okay, I know this play. He's going to come set this cross screen for Aziz for a dunk. Well, I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen. So watch how he jumps to the ball just for a second, and that's where Dylan sets the pin down. Pretty good screen to make him go around it. Open look for CMOS. So a nice wrinkle there to get a clean look. There were not a ton of clean looks in this game, but this set has been pretty reliable and good to them. We'll see it one more time.
Quick.
Yeah.
How quickly do you, like as a coaching staff, it was pretty clear they had scouted the main actions really well.
No doubt.
Like they had plans for all of the stuff that, and you could see it, like the double screen out top, like the stuff we talked about on here. Maybe they watched this show. Maybe that's what doomed them against Villanova.
Yeah, we got to check the viewership notes. See how many Villanova assistant coaches we're watching.
But how quickly on the bench do you go, okay, like we've got to get to some of this secondary stuff because it looks like they've got the primary stuff scouted really well.
Yeah, no doubt. I think you always want to give them a look at your primary stuff first.
Yeah.
See how they're guarding it. And, like they guarded that first action really well, right? Like they were all over it. So, okay, perfect. Let's throw this wrinkle, see if they're ready for that. And so, that strategy is being talked about in every timeout. Before the coaches get with the team, they're going to do a quick huddle. Hey, what are you seeing out there? Okay, well, they were all over this action. Let's maybe throw the wrinkle at them and see if we can get them on the pin down for a CMOS 3 instead. Another assistant coach might be calling for a different action, and so that's where those conversations are being had, and then they'll go talk to the team in the huddle, let them know what play is coming up next, and go out there and see what it looks like. But no, Villanova, definitely a pressure defensive team, very physical, and they made it tough on offense.
Okay.
All right, so one more look, and Villanova did an outstanding job guarding it here as well. Again, same action. This time CMOS and Connor are in opposite spots, which is fine, can run it both ways, but CMOS should be sprinting to that corner to get a catch. Connor sets a good screen on Aziz's man. Maybe it's there, maybe it's not. It's probably got to be a perfect pass, almost rim level to probably get there, but again, great ball pressure, so he doesn't like it. Okay, dribble it up. Now we're going to bring Connor off. Maybe we can get him a 3. We see that Jizzle's open on the weak side, so throw it there. And now we're just playing. All right, we should see a ball screen coming at some point, or a 5. You see the switch. Let's go back to the switch action here. So Dixon's guarding Mitchell. When this ball screen happens, he's going to switch on to Jizzle. And that's the shot they decided they were going to live with against us and get the result they wanted there. So again, they're trying to be really physical, bang up our action to make sure we don't get a clean look early in the clock. And at the end of the clock, they're saying, all right, we're going to switch that ball screen to see if they can beat us one-on-one. And that's tough. Another look that Cincinnati went to get baskets. We'll talk through this one. A lot of action to cover. Okay, so again, kind of in that horns look, like you mentioned, with the 2 bigs high, guards in the corner. You're going to see Mitchell start the action kind of with a fake ball screen there. And just to basically get out of Jizzle's way, we're going to look at this ISO first. Okay, hopefully they miscommunicate on that kind of fake screen and maybe just a half-step advantage created for Jizzle to get downhill. Maybe they're calling switch and they don't switch and Jizzle can get downhill. Okay, if that's not there, now we're going to bring Connor off a double stagger on the weak side for a 3. If we can't get that, then we're going to bring CMOS off a double stagger, see if we can get a shot there. So let's see it all play out. All right, they do a great job guarding the Jizzle ISO. Do a great job covering Connor. Connor's going to loop out, and now we're going to bring CMOS through for a pin down there. Pretty decent look. down 7.
The shove out of bounds.
Yeah, you have.
What are we doing?
That might be
We can't get fined.
All right, so here it is again. This is actually first play of the game. Okay, so that should tell you that they like this set. You'll see Mitchell clear out, looking for this ISO with Jizzle. It's not there. Let's bring Connor off. If that's not there, let's bring CMOS off. And this is a wrinkle to it to start the game. Okay, love this. So something we covered a lot last season. Okay, they bring Connor off here. Now, standard play is let's dribble this over and get CMOS to 3, right? Well, this time we're going to end up in what we call a Spain action, which is a big up top and a guard below. And there's going to be a back screen looking for a lob. And if not, CMOS pops for a shot. Okay, so there's the ball screen. CMOS trying to screen his man, looking for the lob here, or CMOS popping out to get us into offense. Jizzle doesn't like it. Doesn't think he has a good look to get the lob to Aziz. There's a lot of help side here off of Mitchell. And doesn't like the throwback to CMOS, so he moves it. And now we're in motion. All right, at some point we should see a ball screen. Mitchell posts. Pretty good ball movement. They never actually got to their 5-out ball screen here. So typically when the play breaks down on this catch, if he's not going to attack, he'll move it, set a screen, and they'll play into their 5-out motion. Since he goes that we're seeing over and over again, we're seeing the baseline cross play. And we're seeing the Jizzle ISO into off-ball screening for the shooters. So 2 things that they went to, again, end of clock. Villanova just decided, hey, we're going to live with mid-range pull-ups over our big guys. And ultimately, they do a couple things just to get him deep catches. Thought this play that they went to a couple times was pretty interesting. Obviously, this is his favorite block to get to his left-hand hook to the middle.
4 times.
He's got kind of that old man game too, right? He's not gonna wow you with vertical athleticism.
Do you ever watch much Danny Fortson?
Yeah, there you go. I like that.
It's a little Fortson in his low post game.
Yeah, no doubt. That's spot on. Right. Sometimes as a fan, when you're watching a big man just go to work, you can be screaming at the TV, right? Like, why aren't we double teaming? Why aren't we double teaming?
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter against a team like this, I mean, they're a top 10 3-point shooting team in the country, and he's an excellent passer. And so you gotta choose what you're gonna live with, right? If we're gonna double all game, then we're gonna be screaming at the TV, going, "Well, why are these guys wide open for 3?" And the poison we picked was, hey, I think our big guys are physical enough, strong enough, and good enough to make him miss a few times. Let's make it tough 2s rather than wide open step in 3s. And so, different philosophies on how to guard these dominant post players. That was the decision made. With the play, they'll come right back to it. Okay, so they ran that low cross play to get it to him on the right block a couple times. They got him going shooting the ball too when we kind of made this run.
They faked him really going baseline, back screen,
no doubt,
open 3.
No doubt. Like you can see, Dylan's not quite ready for him to come off a pin down right now. We're thinking he's going to set a pin down, not come off to fire one. So this little hop back is just enough to create 6 feet of space.
And they put a defender in the way.
And they put a defender in the way. That's they got him going. He got us. So
frustrating as hell.
Frustrating. Yes. Hard to watch one guy just, really, really pick you apart like that on offense. But hey, it's time to talk Crosstown Shootout. All right, couple guys to focus on. We're going to talk about Freemantle first. All right, so his primary role in their offense, he serves as their 5-out screener. Okay, he's going to set 50 screens in this game, primarily in the middle third of the floor. Okay, he'll go send some deeper wing screens as well, but primarily they're going to happen at the top of the floor. He's going to pass it instead of screen. He's going to hand it off instead of screen. He's going to set screens naturally in the flow of their transition offense. And he's really, really mastered. He'll catch the ball at about 8 to 10 feet and just shoot this little floater. He's probably got 60 points off of that screen short roll floater this year. So Freemantle again right here, 32.
He does a great job stopping at 8 feet because everybody crowds right to the rim, right? And he stops at 10, takes 2 steps forward and gets it to 8, and he's got an open shot.
Yeah. He's a guy that, we would call in some scouting reports like a tight end. Like he finds the little open yardage areas to get a catch and just has that great touch. So again, here he is on the perimeter, top of the key. He's going to move it. He's going to go screen, and he's going to go be a little tight end, find that little spot where he has enough space to get to his floater, and that is his shot right there. So that's the primary way they're using him. He is shooting more threes this year. We'll get to that here in a second, but there it is again in their transition offense. He'll just trail the play, set a ball screen, and he'll go try to find that open area. They will throw it in the post to him some. He's not Eric Dixon in there, but he can score in the post, especially over his left shoulder with that right hand. Here he is again, doing what he does best, being a big body, screening, and there's the 3 ball. Not an elite 3-point shooter by any means, but he is shooting it with more confidence this year and making more. So, all right, let's talk about Conwell next. Pretty familiar with this guy, huh? We've
South
played
Florida,
against him
Indiana State.
yeah. We've played against him probably 7-8 times at this point. What's a couple more? All right, his gift is the 3-point shot. He can shoot them contested. He really got going here at the end of the first half against TCU, so going to focus in. They went to him 3 straight times for a 3. Okay, so a nice little action here. Good for you guys to see some of Xavier's actions too. Okay, this is a way to get him a quick 3. So they'll go handoff here to Swain, and then bring Conwell right back for a quick 3. And if you give him that much space, it's going up. Got a really good looking lefty 3-point shot.
Yeah, and that wasn't even a very good pass in terms of he didn't catch it in the pocket. He had to go outside to get it, gather. Still didn't impact the shot at all.
Yeah, not perfect execution, but it worked nonetheless. All right, again, next possession. We're about a minute left, down 9. Calling his name with a high ball screen. Okay, again, a lot of ball screens for Freemantle in the middle third of the floor. That's going to be a huge teaching point in scouting sessions and practice when we're talking about guarding Xavier. Their 2 best players are going to be in the ball screen at the top of the floor over and over again. What can we do to guard that successfully? That'll be talked about all week. And we definitely don't want to give comfortable 3s like that.
I mean, that's just terrible ball screen defense.
Yeah,
Mike, he just
really
stopped.
Bad.
The guard just stopped.
Yeah. Something that really gets emphasized guarding a ball screen is when contact is made, the one thing you cannot do is stop. You got to keep fighting through that screen. He's going to be seeing that in the film session.
That's brutal. Goodness.
That is brutal. All right, right back to it. Next possession. Calling his name again. You see they're hedging instead of switching that ball screen this time. Okay, so a little hedge, get back to yours, and that's the shot at the buzzer. Almost goes down. But that's what we're going to see a lot of from Freemantle and Conwell. They have other guys, don't get me wrong, but those are the 2 guys leading the charge. They combine for 30 to 35 points a night for them.
Yeah, those are by far, in terms of balance, it is those 2 and then a gap between. And that's not to say the gap, these guys can't hurt you. They can.
Right.
Maddox, they've got some shooters. They've got some guys that can play, but Freemantle and Conwell are far and away the top of the scouting report on this one.
No question. And this will be an interesting one to break down afterwards because Xavier is the fastest team on offense that we've played this year.
Yeah.
So their pace of play will be drastically different from the Villanova game, and it'll be interesting to see an up and down game in Fifth Third Arena. I will be there. I'm excited.
Nice. So I said this on the radio earlier. I'm interested in your opinion. I know that the tempo says both of these teams offensively want to get out and run, but I think the difference is going to be the half court. Like whoever executes, if they're both want to get up and down, that
Right.
kind of cancels itself out. The team that does a better job running their stuff and getting points off of their stuff in the half court might not be the team that wins, but they're going to have a decided advantage in those settings.
Yeah, no doubt. And both teams takes really good care of the ball. Cincinnati is an elite offensive rebounding team. Xavier is an elite defensive rebounding team.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is really a clash of styles, and I think you're right. Like, who can execute better is going to be a big part of this game, and will definitely be a deciding factor.
Well, and while Xavier on the season has done a good job, that stretch from Michigan, TCU, South Carolina State, they turned it over 50 times in those 3 games. So if you
No doubt.
can speed up McKnight, who he hasn't played great so far this year, but he was great in the shootout last year. So
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they play so fast. Sometimes their turnover number is high, but they've also played a ton of possessions in
right,
those games.
right.
So their turnover percentage might not reflect as super high. But yeah, I'm excited to see an up and down game at Fifth Third, and I think you're right. Like when we get down to it, those end of half execution half court sets, those out of timeout sets, I'm excited to see what both coaching staffs have cooked up. It's going to be a good one.
And ultimately, when it comes down to it, your best players have to play like your best players.
No doubt about it.
Period. That's what wins big games.
No question.
All right, man. Make sure you stop by. I can't wait to see you on Saturday. Maybe we'll go downstairs, see if we can raid that Jordan closet while the game's going on or something.
There you go. We need to, at some point we need to record one live up in
We do.
Cincinnati.
All right, man. I appreciate it. Great stuff as always. And shootout week. Here we go. Game Sunday, 2:00. We'll see everybody there. That is the Bearcat Breakdown with Chris LePore, brought to you by Cincy Light and the Job Center right here on BearcatJournal.com.